Stacy Osei-Kuffour and Whitney White. Welcome to Token Theater Friends. So happy to have you both here because you are actually in our last episode of the year. So we're gonna look
Wow.
back a little bit at everything that happened. We can
Yeah.
like try to forget. Maybe I should have suggested we did like shots or have wine or something. So as
That
we
was
look
so
back.
nice.
But let's start talking about animals and how was it for you to turn the play into an audio play?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting and really fun and tough and exciting. It felt like the right play to turn into, a radio audible play. And I think when Whitney and I first found out that this was happening, she just called me and said how fun it was going to be. And that just made me so excited to get started and to see what we could do. And I think um, it was just really fun, kind of exactly what she said, and really amazing to see the play transform and the actors transform. Um, and to learn so much also from the play, because I wrote it 7 years ago, and not only did I feel I was adapting it to be more of today, I also felt like I was adapting it, for the radio, for just for people who are listening to it. So it was a wild journey.
Can you, without kind of like giving too much away, because I feel like this is a play where you could say like, oh, we could spoil it, right? Because like you have to like interact with the characters, but also there are some things that you can really spoil. So I don't want to spoil anything. So I'll let the two of you describe what Animals is about.
Okay, Whitney, do you want to go or?
Animals is this incredible piece of work by Stacy that follows four New Yorkers um, one evening when they decide to have a dinner party. And that's kind of the like straight laced description of it. But really, I think for me, what the play is about is the central character, Lydia, this African American woman who's kind of grappling with the decisions she's made in her life and the life she kind of walked away from. That's kind of represented by one of her dinner guests that comes over. And it's like a play that looks at the lives, the prisons we make for ourselves. I feel like in the pandemic right now, it's like when the shutdown happened, everybody was stuck in their own life slash prison that they made themselves. And I think Animals, even though it stands, I think it will stand the test of time. It's really about a Black woman looking at the decisions she's made and kind of fantasizing for a life that never was, and probably a life that she shouldn't have. And so it's about race and sex and New York and what animals New Yorkers can be.
I really love that. I was listening in my headphones, and then I also listened to it on my speaker.
Mm.
And I really loved how, I don't know, Stacey, for you, when you're writing it, like, do you feel like the characters, I promise I'm not stoned, by the way, but do you feel like the characters are like speaking to you inside your head? And then Whitney, when you take the scripts and and you turn your vision into a production, do you feel like it's a speaker? See, this is like a stone question, and I promise I haven't had anything. No
Wow.
edibles, no nothing.
That's a interesting question, because when I was in London last year doing a job, I saw this play. I can't even. I believe at the National. I can't remember what it's called, but we had to listen to it only on our headphones, and I had never watched anything like that before, and it was so amazing to hear sometimes when a character would, kick a box with their foot and say something under their breath, or another character would say a secret, or you would hear, it would be completely dark in the theater and you would have to listen to this woman moaning in pain. And I didn't realize it until now, really, that seeing that play, really helped me understand shaping animals to, an audible play. And what I really loved was being able to have those moments, having a character say something under their breath and have little secrets and little things that you wouldn't get in a theater. And, um, when Whitney and I started really exploring those things and having fun with those things, I felt the play, come alive in a new way. So yes, I do think I'm the headphones. Long answer.
For me, I feel like it's not so much that I hear how it should go in my mind, but I feel the rhythm of how it should go in my mind. And when I first read this play, that's so crazy to hear you say that you wrote it 7 years ago. Time flies. Um,
Mhm.
but I remember the first time I read it, it just makes you kind of lean forward because you can start to feel this dialogue and language flying at the speed of light at the pace with which we normally speak every day. And that really excites me when a playwright gives you the challenge of dialogue that's just like moving like a train and you've got to get in there and carve it out. And yeah, so it's not so much that I hear how it should go, but I feel the pace at which it should maybe go.
I love that because that makes total sense. Like there's a total beat to it where like I kind of felt like I don't know what this says about me, but I was kind of like enjoying just like being like an eavesdropper and just like I was like, ooh, these people are like and like AMS and I it's always like so difficult to talk about this because like we all love the stage so much and I wonder if there are things about uh, transforming this into an audio play that you're like, hey, I really love uh, doing this. Maybe I'll try to apply this
Mm.
when, if the vaccine works and all of that. And I don't want to get too dark, but like when we are able to go back to theaters and gather in community, like, are there things about the process that you want to like keep forever, maybe that you really love
Oh my God,
trying out and doing?
that's such a great question. I mean, I think for me, we had to talk about so much stuff, so much, so much. And normally I do table work with my play processes, but because we couldn't all be in the same room and the actors were sent these kits and we truly did it virtually. It's like the first time I've ever done anything completely virtually.
Mm.
I had to rely on the actors a lot and be like, hey, how did that feel for you? Did you hear any atmospheric noise on your end? Could you tell me what you're feeling? Okay, are you standing? Tell me where you're standing. And I feel like I had to have a dialogue with the actors that was actually very rich and sensory based. So it was a lot of sensory based conversation, and I'd love to bring that into a, a rehearsal process for a theatrical piece that's going to be in person. Because a lot of times you're talking about character and world and story, and you're not so much asking people, hey, how did that feel? What's your impulse about that? You know what I mean? And I thought that was really positive. Kind of, yeah, I thought that was very positive and successful.
Yeah, I think for me, something that I want to take to the stage when it does come back is I started to think about the way people listened in a different way. I imagine people like in their cars or, working out while listening to this play or, just sitting at home, but understanding that like something's going to pop on their phone and they're going to be texting while listening to this. And I just wanted the play to be clearer because of that. And I wanted it to be so sharp that when, a character would say something, if you like come out, if you come back in the room from listening to the play, you're like, wait, what did that character just say? I wanted to um, make people feel that and really grab on to the train of the play. And I don't think that um, I cared that much when I was, writing the play at the time about, how people are listening and how people are receiving information. And that's just a cool thing to kind of think about now. And, I think in the theater, maybe not every person is going to hear when a character kicks a box and has a secret or whatever. And, I think that's something I want to pull in to my work more. It's not precious. Some people are going to get it and some people aren't, and that there's something cool and exciting about that.
it was super freaky for me because like when I was listening to it uh, on a speaker like before signing into Zoom, I I don't want to like go into the whole story because like I feel it's like ridiculous, but I've been like having the hardest time buying a freaking ham. Like I've
Mm,
tried to buy a ham 3 times so
mhm,
far, and it's like ridiculous. Like it's insane. Like my card first like froze, and anyway, like it's so as I was trying to buy this ham, one of the
mhm,
characters in the play says something about like not eating pork, and I'm like, I felt like they were like spying on me for a
mhm,
second, and I was like, um, this like makes like it made no sense, but I really love that idea that we get to bring the plays with us home in a way, which is something that we can't really do otherwise. And I wonder if there's also a sense of that for you, like the work that you do on stage, like it's vanishes and people see it and then, it's gone unless like they remember it. But now like I get to live with the characters if I want to. Like I get to wake up with them. I get to have them
mhm.
judge me for not getting my ham.
I'm sorry you didn't get the ham.
I know.
It sounds really good. Um, I would love ham right now, but um, whether you're vegan, whether you eat pork, I think there's something freaky about being able to replay it and being able to live with these characters forever. But there's also something so cool. I want people to go back and listen. I want people to, you know, say like, oh my God, that's me, or that's my ex-boyfriend, or like, I wish I could be bold like that. Like I don't know. I just there's something really cool about it being able to exist for so many new people and so many new places. And the things that we talk about in this play are big and heavy and complicated, and especially the race stuff, but also there's some things about the main character Lydia. She was very young when she got with her current partner, and there's some touchy things on there. And I'm just excited to see how certain people respond to those things. I don't know if I'll ever get to see it, but I'm excited by the idea of it for sure.
I had a friend, a colleague I met when I was directing a show with the grad students at NYU years ago, and he worked in the NYU department. I haven't seen him for years. And I got an email from him, and he was like, "Greetings from Sydney, Australia. I've just had my second child. I just listened to Animals." And
Oh
it
my
was like,
God,
"Oh, Stacy, I like it. It
that's
moves me."
crazy.
And he was like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "How are you?" And so it is freaky to be able to keep listening to it because I'm used to working in an ephemeral
Yeah.
business. And that's why theater is so, you know, so can be so intense. You can put something up there that will only live there and then will kind of dissipate. But I do feel gifted by this opportunity Stacey's given me with working on this piece because it's connecting me to people across borders. It's like breaking down these borders in my life. That New York theater often creates so many borders and boundaries in terms of access and who gets to see the work and who feels welcome to work and all that stuff. And so I feel like again, you asked what can we take into the future, and I'm like, I'm trying to learn a lesson right now about accessibility and breaking down borders. And Stacy's play just gave me that opportunity, so I'm really grateful.
I also think, I'm so sorry, I have to say this because I listened to the play recently and it was really hard because I found myself still trying to edit it. And I think that's the kind of person I am. I can be exhausting in that way where it feels like something is never finished. And I can imagine that if Whitney and I had been able to do the stage version, I would probably still be editing it or trying to fine tune it or make it better, or my idea of what perfect is. And I think I can't do that with this. I had to let go. And that's something that this experience really taught me, is that I think a really funny email I was thinking about the other day is Jessica, who is our point person at Audible. She sent an email of the play, like an early cut of it a couple days ago. And my response was, thank you so much. Is this a final version or can we keep, editing it? And she was like, Stacy, this is the final version. And so that was really hard for me, the idea that I had to let the play go, it's really scary.
Is a part of, because I love, obviously I love theater so much. I wonder, I don't think I've ever asked this to any theater makers, like, is a part of theater feeling like it can always become something else? Like it's never done, one of the reasons why you love doing it, like there's no like finality to it, right? Like you can always improve.
I mean, I personally do. It's like I always think that when I'm directing, I'm making an organism, and that organism grows like a heart, and then legs, and then arms, and then teeth, and then hair, and then it's up and it's going, and it's pretty. I had for the first time in my career last season, like the longest running show I've ever had. It was supposed to close in 6 weeks, and then it like picked up again and again and again. And I remember the feeling of like going and seeing my actors that I loved so much and seeing them closing night and being like, who are those people? And it was kind of thrilling. So I do think there is something about theater I love because it can grow. It's like limitless potential because it's never really locked. So I do think, yeah, that's one of the powerful things about that medium of art making is it can always grow and change.
And I wonder, Stacey, for you, like doing TV, has that made this process easier? Because like or do you try to like edit like your TV scripts as well?
Well, I think, in the TV space, which I feel so lucky to have gotten into and to be a part of, I think that has less control. And so I contractually am, obligated to do a certain amount of edits on a script and a certain amount of drafts. And once I turn that in, it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the showrunner. And that's great because then that's their responsibility, but sometimes it's also hard. And I think that's the joy of being a playwright. That's my version of being showrunner, and I get to redo the script as many times as I want. And I think in the TV space, it's less control. And so it's more hands off for me, for sure.
Okay, since the play takes place at a dinner party, what wine, what drink, what snacks would you suggest people pair it with? Because I tried it with chips.
Thank you.
I tried it with wine, tried it with beer, tacos, and I tried it also one time with cheesecake and a Diet Coke.
Okay, wow. How many times have you listened?
I listened 3.5 because I was listening on my speaker before coming here. So 3 in my headphone and one time, well, half a time a speaker.
Those are some beautiful snacks and foods.
They're good. Like it was like I was like kind of like like I felt like that extra guest who's like just like eating quietly.
Sure.
Well,
Sure. Well, I think if it were, I love the dinner party. That's part of the reason why I wrote this play. I think wine would be stunning with this play, especially because there's a lot of wine talk, and that's what they're drinking for the majority of it. A fun drinking game is to maybe drink every time a character drinks, every time you hear refill or are we opening the wine, feel free to take a drink, have a good time. That's what I would pair it with. They're also having bacon wrapped dates as an appetizer. Go ahead. Why not? Try it. I love a bacon wrapped date, especially if it's crispy and made correctly. And I think the last thing is, you can never go wrong with something crunchy, and I feel like each character is a little crunchy in its own way. So let's close this out with chips and salsa, and that's all I have to say about that.
I love that so much.
And you can feed me. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that would be my honor.
Like I remember that line about like it's just dinner, you're not Martha Stewart, and like how I almost choked. So it's so funny.
So many people have said that to me, but just take out Martha Stewart and say something, someone else. Just
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Next time I'll keep that in mind.
Yep.
Uh, so looking back at what has been like, I don't know, I don't even have to say anything about this year. It's been 2020.
Yeah.
I wonder, besides the thing that like I'm like really ridiculous. I try not to say the P word. I call it a P word or like the C word. Um, Besides that, for instance, like how would you say like if you maybe maybe it's still like early in December to like try to look back, but like
Mhm.
how would you say you are right now as both a human being and an artist
Wow.
compared to how you thought you were going to uh, be at this point
Uh-huh.
when the year started?
Wow. I mean, so Stacy and I had been planning to do this show, IRL in person as part of the summer season at Williamstown Theater Festival. And so it's funny, putting up a play, it requires all this prep time. So you start working on a play like 6, 8 months, maybe more before you actually do it. Meetings, designer meetings, coming up with the way it looks, the way it's going to sound, all of it. And because of the kind of intense nature of the festival, you've got to really get on it. So it's like I had been thinking and dreaming of the play. The pandemic hit February, March, and we were going to go into rehearsal in what, June, July, Stacy? So it's
Mhm.
like that was right when it all was going to gear up. And it's funny. It's like, in a way, we had a full production in many ways because we would have meetings with Audible every week and Williamstown and with Mandy Greenville, the incredible artistic director. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
But she really is the one who made this possible. She brought her season to Audible and, in this kind of visionary way, advocated for all the directors and writers to stay together.
Yeah.
And kind of an incredible deal that she brokered. I'm incredibly grateful. But it's like, in a weird way, we had a production process, right? We were like meeting over months, it wasn't like we just threw it together. So when I think about like where I was supposed to be and where I ended up, this piece was like a constant for me. This Stacy's play was like my constant besides the disturbing news cycle in this period. And I'm just, yeah, I keep saying I'm grateful, but it's like it's a positive point. I mean, look, our business, I will wrap this TED Talk up quickly, but our business requires an insane amount of output from the individual artists in order to operate and work at a certain level, and it's almost impossible. And so this forced pause we were all in was like good for me in many ways and challenging in many other ways. But it is interesting, like Stacy and animals was like the recurrent thing throughout all of it, and it being finally out feels so weird. I'm like, oh, is the year over now? It's like I feel like I'm graduating from school or something again, because of the way we put this thing up. I hope I answered that question. I probably didn't, so let's.
No, you did. It was great. And I think for me, at the beginning of this pandemic, I'm gonna say it, I was like, I'm gonna write 15 scripts and I'm gonna do like all of Chrissy Teigen's recipes and I'm gonna lose 15 pounds and I just had, this was like at the top. This was March and I was like, I'm gonna, like, animals is gonna be the best thing. What's crazy is I used to work at the Duke as an usher in the same building that Williamstown Theater Festival, like where their headquarters or their offices are. And I think, I went to New York City in March to do, to see the auditions with Whitney.
Oh my
But
god,
I know, remember?
my first face mask.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had auditions that month in March.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God.
But it's crazy. It's crazy to me that I was an usher in that building and I'm like taking the elevator to the top to meet Mandy. It felt like finally this is my moment. And then, as a playwright, just something that I dreamed about Williamstown Theater Festival since I was 20, 21. That's when I really started writing. So, I'm 33 now, and that's fucking insane. And I think like, how did I think this year was going? I thought I'd be running things. I thought everything was gonna go my way. And like, I'm so grateful that it didn't. I've learned so much. I feel so, I have two therapists now, like things I never, you know, I didn't start out with those things at the top of the year. And I feel lucky for this play and everything that it has taught me. And I just appreciate, that it's just been wild, but I still have, I'm still here with you and being able to do this interview. And so I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's like two things that I really, and I'm sorry, like my friends usually like want to murder me when I get into like Pollyanna
Mhm.
mood as
I
I'm
did
about to
too,
get right
though.
now.
So come on, I did. I
So
did.
there's like two things that like I really love about what you're saying, and this is like my total Pollyanna moment, and I'll see myself out if like you want to kill me after this.
No.
Like, isn't it like so beautiful that you get to be, if things go back to if we're allowed outside basically next year, you get to be like the Williamstown season that will live forever, like
Oh, that's so nice.
forever.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That is
That's
And it's
really
like you and like Audra and Streetcar, and it's just this like mind blowing season that people can like like fold in their phones and put in their pockets or whatever and like keep forever. So I think that's like really badass. And the other thing is that Whitney, like when you were saying that you had animals the entire time, I was like, how lucky were you to have animals and not to have just like the election all the time?
truly. And our cast also, just once they were in the mix, it was a beautiful little reprieve from
yeah.
the world that we're living in. Yeah.
What are you doing right now in terms of self-care? Because like I think it's so easy to forget that, especially when you're working from home. That I'm like recently I've been like, oh, I've been working for 17 hours.
Oh,
Go me.
yeah.
Which like no. So what are you doing?
Stacy
Like, are
actually,
you
during
doing it?
animals, really motivated me to take better care of myself. I have to be honest about that.
Really?
Yeah, when you were exercising and eating well, and
Oh, not anymore. Before this, I had wings and fries. They're still on my mind. Ice cream. Those three things.
but she did motivate me. And I think right now, you know what? I've discovered the power of candles. A good like
Mm,
turn your lights low, light some candles, cook yourself,
mhm,
close your laptop. I feel
mhm.
that's what I'm doing for self-care. A lot of like household chores, but with candles.
That's nice.
I'm gonna show you what I have over here because like I
Mhm.
love candles, but I've also like become like really obsessed with like myrrh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like
I don't.
rose myrrh.
Epic.
I don't know what that is.
Myrrh
But
is
Basic.
the three kings brought baby Jesus in the Bible.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. But thank you both. And some of the things that I've been using for self-care are candle, yeah, sorry to copy. Oh, walks. I've been taking walks. I've been going on walks around the neighborhood, which is I mean, not really. I wear a mask. And um I think therapy is really important, and I don't know if that's self-care, but it feels like it, and it's been real nice. And reading, articles. I love articles. Send me an article. These are really sad self-care things. I
Oh,
miss massages. I miss stories, but you know.
I mean, yeah, like don't get a massage from like a stranger or something like
Yeah.
I need new eyeglasses and like I definitely need new contacts like but I'm like terrified like having someone like touch my eye like if I go like no I'll wait.
Thing.
Yeah, I'll be okay. Thank you both for Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you to plug all your projects and tell us where we can find animals and everything else that you have going on. Everything. Tell us where to find you.
Listen to Animals on Audible because Stacy's brilliant and the piece is brilliant. And the cast is really dope. And spend an hour or so with us at this dinner party. That's all I want to plug is Animals available now on Audible.
Do it. Thank you, Whitney.
Yeah.
So thank you both so much, and I guess let's pretend like we have like champagne flutes and Happy New Year. May all of you keep thriving and doing art and like bringing beauty to this world because we fucking need it. So thank you both for what you do.
Oh, Jose, thank you. You such a beautiful space for artists of color and artists of all creed, shape, type, size, ethnicity, and we're really grateful for you. We need more of you in 2021. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll blush and like I'll go. I want some fries now, Stacey. So go get some fries and have fun at the Whole Foods.
Oh yes.